What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you clicking in for another episode. So if you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, stay up to date, because this is going to be a build you're not going to want to miss. Now, this is a car we just had on the channel. All right, so what we're doing today is we actually have a parts car for this car. Let's head over here and show you what it's doing. All right, so we're going to hop in. I'm going to show you what the problem is. So this car only lasted for about a day, maybe 2 days, with the 600 horsepower. So we're gonna go show you what it does. And I knew this was gonna happen. The car makes so much power now that the 6-speed did not like it. So we're gonna take care of that in this series of videos. Seems normal right there, but if you felt what I felt, you would know. So it sounds like a bat out of hell. Like, it sounds like a badass car right now, but it doesn't go nowhere. And then it grabs. Transmission is smoke. We just put a Circle D converter in this car about 2-3 months ago. And if you want to see the Pro Charger video, I'll link it up here in the corner. You can click on that and that'll take you to the build of pretty much Pro Charger this car. The car made $598 on the dyno. And it could probably make a little more if we changed the cam. It has an all motor cam in it, which is a pretty big cam. But yeah, I'll kind of get on it right here and just show you kind of what it does. Like, taking off is chattering so bad. If I floor it, it's almost like a rubber band, like it just slingshots you. Like, I was just quarter throttle and it just transmission smoke. So let's show you what we're gonna do about it. So what I did was I talked my buddy Jake into putting a 6-speed swap in this car. And there's not a whole lot of information on doing this, so I'm gonna be kind of winging it. It's kind of gonna be, I guess, more or less a tutorial on how to do a 6-speed swap in these. So follow along and I'm gonna show you how to do it, because it's happening. So actually, when I first started looking, I started looking for cars at the auction that were wrecked and we couldn't find nothing. And he was actually looking himself and we could never really come up with nothing. So what we actually done was he went on Facebook Marketplace and he found a car. And he almost didn't get the car. Like, he messaged this guy for about a week and they agreed on a price and the guy backed out. But it's a pretty sick car, pretty wrecked too. Ta-da! We have a zl1 Camaro. And she is toast. It's pretty much, he bought it exactly how you see it. It had the motor, had everything. It was a running, driving car. But the guy that he bought it from, all he wanted was the motor. So they agreed on a price. It fell through. So finally he messaged him again. He's like, look, I want this car. And like, it would have costed a lot of money to just buy everything separate, pedals, everything we needed to do the swap. But we haven't really even looked it over good, but she's a real ZL1. But that is what we wanted. TR6060. And another thing, he was worried about the diff and axles in this car. So we have a 373 ZL1 rear end we're gonna put in it. And it's actually got the oil cooler built into it. But whoever owned this car did not take care of it. Like, look at the mud. This is ridiculous. So this car is gonna get the ZL1 seats, probably the gauge cluster and a few other cool things. But there's a lot of meat left on the bone here for somebody that wants to part stuff out. Like, we have both ZL1 side skirts. We're probably gonna take the brakes, ZL1 brakes off of this, because it's got the big rotors, bigger calipers, even though that does have the Brembos. So yeah, we're gonna start diving this thing. On today's video, we're gonna strip the interior, get all that out so he could come and get it and clean it, do what he's wanting to do with it. Start stripping it, get the console out. We're gonna be putting that in, but I gotta start getting these pedals out. I'm gonna start, might even yank the transmission out of it today. Get this thing stripped and out of the way so we can start building that. And again, I wanna thank you for clicking on the video. The channel is growing at a pretty good rate right now. Back when I had 50 subscribers, I couldn't believe it. And now we're at, as of today, 868. So we're so close to 1,000, it's not funny. I appreciate you watching. Ground wire acquired. This is the best jump box ever. And we have power. Oh, we got a dinger. So let's see how many miles was on this car. Great. Let me see. Menu. Imagine it is 0 miles. That ain't right. There's no way. It's got to be because the computers are going. I figured the cluster would hold it. Damn, I keep passing that. Trip information doesn't pull up. Yeah, it's got to be because the bike control module's gone or something. I'm about to say 0 miles. Man, I wonder if this thing will crank. Nothing. Let me see if I can get this sunroof open though. Alright, so that sucks. Probably because of the fuse box is completely missing under the hood. Windows don't work. Please, seat work. Ah, the seat works. That's great. So we'll better at least get the seat bolts out, John. Nah, I think it's got something to do with the bike control module being gone. Yeah, it doesn't work. That sucks. I feel like the goon squad out here cleaning a wrecked ass car to get it going. Like, this interior was so nasty. Like, just vacuuming it out made the biggest difference. So now, got everything stripped out for as interior that we're getting. I still got to take some of the dash apart there, but that's nothing big. Now I can get under here and try to see what I got to do to get these pedals out. But yeah, coming along. I'm gonna get the door panels off also. All right, so as far as interior's done. Steering wheel's the only thing left. And this, now that I just seen. So we're not done. But for the most part, everything's out over there. I'm gonna let him come get what he wants and clean it so we can get it installed in another car. I'm gonna take the gauge cluster too to see if it'll work. But yeah, like the reason he wants to put these moldings in is because they're kind of like a graphite black. They have like a nice metallic look to them. They're super nice. So yeah. I guess now we might start jacking it up, getting the, well, first thing I'm gonna do is try to get under and get the pedals out. And then we're gonna get on to get the transmission out. So far as the clutch pedal goes, we have a pedal here. Looks like there's just a couple bolts right there. And the ones that go through the firewall, which I don't think it's gonna be too bad. I figured it's gonna be like a whole pedal assembly bracket, but it's not. The clutch pedal's all to itself. So that'll work out pretty good. Yeah, let's get to getting. So one thing I do see, I might have this reservoir off this brake master cylinder because that's what feeds the clutch. But let me get a light down in here and show you. So if you look, see the nut that holds the master cylinder in, that's actually what holds the rest of the clutch pedal in. His car doesn't have these holes. So the black piece that it's bolted to comes out of the firewall, but you have to pull the dash. So I might have to figure out what I'm gonna do there. So this pedal is super easy to get out. Basically just 2 bolts there and the 2 bolts I showed you in the back right here. This thing comes right up. I love this design. So basically all I got to do on his car is get those holes, get it for the master to come through the firewall, and bam, simple as that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, I might try to make a template somehow, because I can change the whole firewall piece, but I don't want to pull the dash. So I'll have to figure out a way to get a hole in there. So we're starting to get the brakes off. I was gonna drop the whole subframe because we're gonna put the zl1 diff in that car with the oil cooler. But the car was hitting the quarter. I seen this, like the wheel or something hit it. But I'm looking at this and the strut's kind of pushed forward at the bottom. It's supposed to go in at an angle a little bit, but everything is pushed forward on this side. So that means upper control arm, lower control arm is probably screwed. I'm not sure what else. The actual subframe could be messed up just because it took such a hit here. I mean, it looks pretty straight, I don't know. But you can kind of tell. It's hard, it's really hard to tell. You can see how the paint is knocked off there. So this whole section is kind of pushed forward. It's not really centered in the wheel well like it should be. So, and actually the axle, you can't probably see it, but I can. The diff's back here where it goes in and the axle travels forward, which is not good. So yeah, we're probably, as long as the zl1 diff bolts into his subframe, probably just gonna do that, swap it that way, because this doesn't look too good. I almost feel like this would not bolt into his car. It might, if we change control arm stuff, but what we'll do is we'll pull the rotors and everything, we'll pull the axles and the diff, and just do the swap into his subframe. I think that'd be the easiest without having to screw with a bunch of alignment stuff and whatnot. So I'm gonna hop under here and start taking stuff loose, get the transmission out. All right, so I haven't went under here yet, but as you can see, this right here, this is one, and that's the other line that comes from the diff. I don't know if they cut them or what they done. You can see where they run. And no, actually, they didn't. They unhooked it. So I know TR66s have an oil pump built in. And like an SS Camaro, you have to have a cooler in the front, but it honestly looks like the zl1 plumbs right into the transmission. So from what I get from that, so yeah, it's missing the line here. It's weird. So yeah, so what it does is it actually pumps transmission fluid through the transmission back to the diff and then up to a cooler, because there should be a line from here to here. I don't know, I'll have to look at the diagram and see exactly what they got going on here, but the lines are missing. So we're looking at this big one is plumbed into the trans, where normally on the SS it would come out here, come under the trans, and then go to a cooler. So one cooler must run transmission and diff. So I'll have to figure that out, but I'm glad we have all the factory lines. I'm a sucker for OEM hardware and lines. So that's gonna make the swap easier. So I guess I need to start busting cross member off. Well, I'm gonna get the dry shaft out, of course, first, and go from there. Down. Oh yeah, zl1 it is. Alright, that's good. Yeah, ain't gonna come out that way. That thing is massive. Oh my god, that thing's big. Got your cooler lines. But when I pulled the axles out of this thing, that might not look like much on camera, but that thing is huge. So you should not have any problems with axles. Driver's side is not as thick in the center, but it's got some big input shafts. But yeah, this thing's cast iron. That should be very strong. Like, them axles are so heavy, I ripped one of the seals trying to get it out because it's so heavy. So we're gonna replace both of those anyway. But yeah, we're almost done with this car. And just like that, hopefully we have everything we need to do the 6-speed swap. So we had the zl1 calipers, the axles, rotors, heat shields, because his is missing it. That big ass zl1 diff, transmission, drive shaft, cross member, pedal, master cylinders. And we have a lot of stuff here. All right, so that's gonna do it for this video. If you wanna stay up to date on this build and anything I post, you can follow me on Instagram. I actually have a Facebook group if you wanna go follow that. I'll leave a link in the description for both of those. But yeah, hit that like button, subscribe. We're gonna be doing big things here. Can't wait to get this swap done. We got a lot of cool parts coming for this build. Includes BC racing coilovers, monster clutch, TIC performance is involved. So yeah, it's gonna be a sick car once we get done. A lot of people would say, why wouldn't he just go trade this in for another car? Because he don't have a whole lot of money in this car. He does now, but this car's gonna be sick. So, all right, appreciate you watching. Until the next one, we'll see you then.